Hello. So today I will be discussing about a very important topic from interview standpoint, that's hoisting and scope. So both of these are very important and you should be able to visualize how exactly they are happening in memory so that you can have better clarity how things are happening under the hood. So as part of this video, I will be touch basing on let, const and var based variables and how exactly they will be behaving when it comes to hoisting and how exactly they will be affecting our scope depending on the place where you are accessing. So if you are somebody who is very confused about these topics, then this video will be solving your issue. After watching this video, I can guarantee that you will have better clarity and you won't be having any confusion at all. So do watch this video completely without skipping any part. It will definitely help you out. Let's dive in. Just to give a brief about this problem, I have some set of variables defined in the window scope. Now, as you might be aware, var based variables will be hoisted and let and const based variables will also be hoisted, but they will be hoisted differently. That we will see shortly. So I will show you everything in demo and you can visualize how memory allocation will be happening and how they are behaving in memory so that you have a better understanding about hoisting happening in case of your var as well as let and const based variables. And after that, I have a function. So functional scope will be coming into picture when you will be executing a function. So that also we will see, and we will have a function test1 and post that I am simply calling test1 in the window scope and post that I am printing out. So I have two console log statements. So one is in the window scope, one is inside the function. So depending on the way we are accessing and the kind of operation that we are doing, hoisting will be happening in different context. So one will be your window context and one will be your functional execution context. So we will see how exactly they are happening. So without delay, let's run this program and I will be bringing in my developer window to have better clarity. I will be detaching this window so that you can visualize this program more clearly. I have put breakpoints in few places in this program to make you understand few points. So I have stopped the program execution in line number 1. So before diving in how program will be executing, I will be touch basing on how hoisting is happening. So if you are aware, hoisting is happening in JavaScript in two phases. First phase will be your creation phase, in which it will go through the complete code. And here in our case, as you can see, I have var based variable a and d. So both of these will be hoisted, and you can see if I will expand this scope, so you can see there are two type of scopes coming into picture. So I have script for block scoped variables and I have global for var based variables. So if I will expand this one, you can see a is being initialized with undefined. So that is all happening in your creation phase. So in creation phase, when JavaScript parser will go through the complete program, parser will get to know that a is a var based variable. After knowing a is a var based variable, parser will simply initialize that with undefined. By default, every var based variable will be initialized with undefined for a var based variable, right? Now when it comes to block scope variables, they will be hoisted differently. So as you can see, there is a separate area in your memory. When it comes to Chrome browser, it is being called script. It might be different for different browser, but conceptually they are all doing the same stuff. So if I will expand this one, you can see all the let and const based variables are being initialized with value unavailable. So that means all block scoped variables are also being hoisted. Keep in mind, block scoped variables are also being hoisted, but they are hoisted differently compared to your var based variables. Now var based variables are being initialized with undefined, but let and const based variables are being initialized with value unavailable. So that is the reason if I will try to console log for a, which is a var based variable, it will give you undefined as an output, but that is not the case with b. B is a block scoped variable, and if you will try to access any kind of block scoped variable before being initialized, it will simply throw error, cannot access b before initialization. That is what is called your temporal dead zone. So if you will come here, b is defined in line number 2, and starting from this line till end of this program, because b is coming in window scope, if I will take the scope of b, it is lying from here till here, end of the program. So it will be outputting you with error. And the same case is happening with c, because c is also a block scoped variable, and d is a var based variable. That is the reason it will give you undefined as an output. If you will try to access any variable which is neither declared nor defined, then what it will output? So for example, I will be trying to put h. H is nowhere in our program, so h is not defined. So if you have not defined any variable, then if you are trying to access, it will throw error. If it is a let or const based variable, and if you are trying to access before they are being initialized, it will throw error. But for a var based variable which are being initialized with undefined, they won't be throwing any error. Keep it in mind. Now we will try to execute this one. So the moment I will go ahead with a equal to 10, you can see it's initialized a in the global scope as 10. For your information, if you will see the call stack, it's showing pointing to anonymous. Anonymous is your global scope, your window scope. Now our parser is in the window scope. We have not gone through any function or any other execution context. We are still in the window scope. That is why it's pointing to anonymous. Right now, let me expand global again. So at first it has initialized a with 10, then comes the part of b. So b is coming under script because it's a block scoped variable. So if I will go through this, then you can see it's changed to 20. Now same comes with c. C will be initialized with 30. Right now we are pending with d in the window scope and e in the block scope. So you can see d is still undefined. Right now, the moment I will execute this one, you can see it's initialized to 40 and e is still value unavailable. And if I will go through these ones, then you can see e is initialized with 50. So in global scope or window scope, we have all variable initialized, and now the next line will be your line number 14, because starting from line number 6 till line number 13, there is a function test1. So there is nothing to do with test1 until and unless it is called. So line number 14 is where we are calling that function by putting a pair of parentheses. So the moment I will try to execute this one, you see there will be a different scope introduced in here. So now we have two type of scope, script and global. The moment I will try to get inside this function, there will be a local scope introduced. So local scope is nothing but a separate scope for your function execution in memory. So you see this one. So here again, everything will be recreated. So the hoisting will be happening separately for this functional scope. So the functional scope is starting from line number 6 till end of this colibrus line number 13. Right now, inside this, we can see we are trying to access a equal to 60. So when parser will come to this line, it will try to figure out whether there is any declaration for variable a inside this specific scope. So compiler won't find that one, but it will find this a inside this scope of this function. So you have to remember one thing, even though you are using this inside your function or you are not using, but there will be a this defined for every function in JavaScript. So from where this is coming, so the way you are calling the function, that will be defining this for the specific function. So here we are calling test1 function by using window scope. Whether you are writing window.test1 or you are calling test1 without window object, it's all same. So That is the reason it will be pointing to your window scope. So you can see here it's showing window. So if we will expand this one, you can see it's having a equal to 10 and it's having d equal to 40. And just before some time I showed you in global scope, that is the same thing that is existing, right? So 10 and 20. So window object which is outside this test1 function and the window object or your this inside your test1 function, both are referring to the same window global scope. C, D and E are something that has been redeclared. So that is the reason C is a constant which is a block scope, E is a let based variable which is again a block scope, but D is a functional scoped variable because it's declared using var, and that will be hoisted, and in creation phase that will be initialized with undefined. That is the reason you are finding undefined for D, but C and E are block scoped variable. That is why you are finding value unavailable for both C and E. Right now, because compiler won't find a inside this particular specific function scope, that is why it will try to take a from your global scope. So if you will see, if I will run through this one, the a for window scope is changed. It will be changed to 60 because it is trying to access the global scoped a value. And further, if you will go through line number 8, then B is a block scoped variable, but that is outside. In window scope we have B as a let based variable with block scope, but still because it won't find B redeclared anywhere in test1 function, if you will execute this one, then it will impact the script based variable B outside your function test1. So outside our function test1 we have B equal to 20, but the moment I will run through B equal to 70 inside our test1 function, it will change the value of B outside our test1 function and in our window scope. So you can see B equal to 70. Coming to const C, C is nothing to do with your outside because it has been redeclared inside our test1 function. So when it comes to local scope, it will be initialized with 80, right? That is why you can see it's coming as 80. Now same will be happening to D. D has been initialized with undefined, and the moment I will try to run this one, it will be initialized with 90, right? And because I have D equal to 90 initialized with 90 inside my test1 function, I can't be able to access this D directly inside my test1 function. So for example, if I will console log and D, now it will be giving me 90. It won't give me the global based value which is 40. That is what is being called as shadowing in JavaScript. We have a D and the value of D inside test1 function shadowed the value of outside our test1 function. That you have to remember. It's a very important question. If I will try to get the value of global scoped D, then I have a way out though. So I will be taking window dot, then I will be taking D. That will be giving me the global scoped value, but directly I can't do that one. But if I will try to get the value of A, I can definitely get that because A is same inside your test1 function and outside my test1 function. If I will go for E equal to 100. Now E is a block scoped variable. If I will try to access E before it's being initialized, you can see inside local scope I have E value, still value unavailable because I have not initialized E yet. So as part of your hoisting process, it has been initialized with this value unavailable value, but if I will try to access the same, it will throw me error. So you can see if I will try to console log, it's throwing error. So that is what is your temporal dead zone. The scope of E, because it's a block scoped value, it will be lying from line number 11 from here till here. And similarly for const C, the scope will be lying from here till here. So if you will try to access anywhere before that, it will throw you error. That is what is your temporal dead zone when it comes to your let or const based block scoped variable. Now if I will move my parser further, you can see it will be initializing E with 100. So the same can be seen here inside your local scope. So E has been initialized with 100. I have all the value initialized inside test1 function as well. If I will try to print out A, B, C, D, E, so if I will run it through, you can see if I will go to this one, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 is the output. Now, after execution of your line number 12, till my parser is in last section of my test1 function, in the last curly brace basically. So you can see in call stack, I have the parser in test1 function. The moment I will run it through, it will be coming to your window scope or your global scope. So anonymous is your global scope. So let me come out of that function. So you can see it's in anonymous, and the complete test1 context, execution context is taken out from memory. So now there is no information about your execution context that has been temporarily created for executing your test1 function, that has been wiped off from your memory. Now you have only window based scope left out, and if I will try to print out all the value whatever is available here, you will have a output. So you can see 60, 70, 30, 40, 50, because A and B has been changed as part of your test1 function execution. Because of that, it's showing 60, 70 as the value. So that is what 60, 70 is coming out. C, D and E. C is 30, which is a block scope value. So you can see it's showing 30, and D is again 40 in your window scope. So it doesn't have to do anything inside this one because it has been already taken out from memory, and that is something that is specific to test1 function. So this D is your window scope D, and because we are trying to access D in window scope, it is giving you 40. That is also understandable. And then last but not the least, E. E is 50 in your window scope. So that is why it's outputting as 50. Simple. So if you have any doubt still, please let me know in the comment so that I can help you out. And if you are looking further for more such kind of video, do let me know. I will be looking forward to you for your comments, and see you in a different video. Have a good day. Bye bye.